Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Prayer Before the Bell Plus. I'm your host, Prophet Norma, and I am so glad you're here to join me today. First and foremost, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. We are in 2024 already. As I look back on 2023, I mean, it ran through. I was like, where did the time go? It seems like time is speeding up. And here we are in 2024. And before you know it, we'll be right into 2025. All right. So, hope you guys had a good start of your new year. And, I know as we enter into the new year, a lot of things happen. People are making New Year's resolutions and talking about things that they're going to do, things they're going to change, things that are you're going to do better, so on and so forth. And so today, we're going to be talking about building responsible children. We as we come into a new year, we always think about all of the different things that I'm going to take responsibility for my health this year. I'm going to take responsibility to making sure that my house is clean. I'm going to take responsibility to make sure that I get to work on time. Whatever the case may be, people, at the new year, people set goals and say, what, this year I'm going to be more responsible for this. I'm going to be more responsible for that. But today we're going to talk about how that starts. And that starts as kids. Growing up, your parents, many parents give you different things to do, different chores and all of that to do. That begins to teach you responsibility. You know, having to do something the same, at the same time of the week or whatever the case may be, being responsible for getting up and going to school. That's a 5-day responsibility, having to get up and go to school. And how do you do that? I mean, how well do you take on that responsibility? Are you one who, when you get up in the morning, it's like pulling teeth to get you out of bed? So somebody may say, this year I'm going to try my best to be responsible for getting myself up and out of the house on time, or whatever the case may be. But that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about building responsible children. Go ahead right now and share the broadcast. You can also tag a few people so that they can join us on our prayer before the bell as we open up for the new year. All right. Make sure, as always, you have your Bible. Make sure you have your notebook, your pen or pencil. And if you're still at home, some people are at home. Some high schoolers, some college students are still at home during this time. And so you're having breakfast with me today. And so bring your breakfast, have breakfast with me, and join the broadcast. All right. We're going to go ahead and jump right in today. Today is a day that I like to get up and say, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. And so I want you to begin to start your day decreeing and declaring how your day is going to be. A big part of being responsible is getting it on the inside of you, changing your mindset. And so how can you change your mindset? By getting up every morning and decreeing and declaring your day. Today I'm going to take control of my day. God, I'm asking you to just partner with me as we go throughout the day today. Help me to do the things that I need to do, and help me steer me away from those things that I don't need to do. And just really purposing, in your heart in 2024 to partner with Jesus Christ. If you're at school doing a test, partner with the Lord Jesus Christ. God, can you help me with this test? Now, of course, you have to put in the work. Nothing is just going to come by osmosis. It's not one of those things whereby you don't study and then you just go in and say, God, help me with a test. And you've never cracked open your book, never studied your sight words, never went over, read the chapters that you were supposed to read for by which the test was going to cover. Not that type of thing. Just really purposing to partner with the Lord Jesus Christ and asking him to help you along the way. And that's a part of being responsible. Getting up every day, reading your word, getting up every day, praying, all of those things are part of becoming responsible. And once you start doing them, what did they say? It takes about 21 days to make a habit. So you think about getting up every day, reading your Bible. After 21 days, it's a habit. And you can't stop. And so you'll keep doing it and keep doing it. And even if you say, you know what, I really don't have time today, it's that something on the inside will say, oh, maybe I can just get in maybe one chapter. I can go ahead and get it in. So once you begin to make a habit out of something, it just begins to come natural because it now becomes a part of the flow of your day. And so it's something that that this happens on Monday through Friday, that you go to school. So it becomes a part of it, of your day as well. Monday through Friday, whatever. I read a particular book or whatever the case may be, but just begin to build those things into your everyday, reading your Bible every day, getting up in the morning and praying before you get ready to leave, and praying before, before you go to bed at night, doing those things. And so all of those begin to, build responsibility, because if you, eventually it'll just become a habit and you'll do it all the time. And so we're going to talk about responsibility today. Now, what does responsibility mean? Responsibility, just the short definition of responsibility, is just being dependable, making good choices, and taking responsibility, taking ownership of your decisions. You hear oftentimes people say, well, you need to take ownership of your decisions. You need to take ownership of your behaviors. Oftentimes we'll say that, somebody made me do it, but no, you're responsible for you. Nobody can make you do anything that you don't want to do. And so when you say that, well, so and so made me do it, I wouldn't have hit them if they hadn't have said anything to me. They made me do it. No, you have to learn how to take responsibility for your own actions. And part of that is making a choice. So when you say, well, so and so was taunting me and I just hit them, they made me do it because they were taunting me. But in that same moment that you make the decision to strike someone and hit someone, it's the same amount of time you can stop yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to walk away from this. So you're responsible for you. Nobody else is responsible for you. And so you have to be mindful of that, even in your everyday, just, and as we go through talking about being responsible and learning responsibility. And so one of the things, and talking about being responsible means, being accountable, being dependable, being in control. Okay, part of being responsible is being in control. You know what, when you get up in the morning, it's for those of you who get up every morning, maybe you don't make your bed, maybe you just get up. Hey, I get up, I'm going to go get ready, wash my face, brush my teeth, take a shower, do whatever, throw on my clothes, and I'm out the door. And you have a habit of just getting up every day and not making your bed. But what if you just started today? If that's you, what if you just started today and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to make my bed today. I'm going to take time, I'm going to be responsible and make my bed. Okay, start one day. Okay, we have 7 days in a week. I did it one day as opposed to not doing it at all. And so once you begin to do it one day, guess what? When you make your bed, you get your room tidied up, guess what? You'll look at that when you get ready to walk out your door in the morning to go to school, go to work, or wherever. You'll look at that room and you'll be like, hey, man, my room looks really nice. It looks really nice cleaned up. And so when you leave, and it's like you have that picture and you're so excited about, hey, my room is clean. And so when you come back from school, come back from work or wherever, you come back in and you can come in and you can sit down and it's like everything is in place. Everything is clean. I'm done. And so guess what? You're going to begin, as you do that, you're going to begin to want to see that picture all the time. And so not only will you do it one day, then you'll pick up and you'll do it another day. Hey, I like this picture. I think I'm gonna keep doing this. And so you'll get it and you'll do it again. You'll you'll go and you'll clean your room, get everything in place. And the thing about it, excuse me, once you get started doing it, you'll keep doing it and you'll say, you know what? You'll get to a place where, say you're doing it 3 days now. I'm cleaning my room 3 days, and you'll be like, on that fourth day, I did it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then here comes the fourth day. And you're like, oh, I don't know. I really don't feel like it. But you say to yourself, it's like, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. It's just like that something on the inside is like, I gotta do it because I want to see that picture again. And so once you begin to see all of your things in order, your bed in order, your dresser, things not laying on your chair, on your the footstool, whatever, you see it's clean, and then you're going to want to see that all the time. And so you're now making this a habit, and you've now taken responsibility for keeping your room clean, keeping your space clean. And the wonderful thing about it is that all of you who have room, young teenagers, children who have rooms of your own, the wonderful thing about it is, hey, your parents, this is a space that your parents gave you. And so you can look at it and say, you know what, it's not my space, but my parents gave it to me for this time, for the time that I'm going to be with them. And so when your parents are like, hey, clean up your room, they're not just nagging you. They're telling you to clean up your room because eventually you're going to become a teenager, you're going to become an adult, and guess what? If you don't take responsibility for cleaning your room, cleaning your body, all of those things, taking brushing your teeth, taking care of yourself, your hygiene and all of that. If you don't take responsibility now, guess what? It's not going to change when you become a youth. It's not going to change when you become a teenager. It's not going to change when you become an adult. You're just going to be a teenager and an adult who still don't take responsibility for themselves. And so what you have to do rest and work and do it, because you don't want to be that person that grows up to be the sloppy adult, the adult that has a trashy house, a trashy room. Because guess what? When you become an adult and you have not taken care of those habits, guess what? Not only do you have one room that you've left trashed, now you have a whole house, you have a whole apartment. And guess what? Just because you became an adult does not mean that those habits are going to change and that you're going to be more responsible when you get in your now that you have your apartment or now that you have your house. How many of you who you typically don't really clean up your car, you whatever the case may be, and so you get a new car. Guess what happens? When you get a new car, you tell yourself, because you have your new car, you love the way it looks, you love that it's clean on the inside, and you say to yourself, you know what? I just got this new car and I'm going to keep my new car clean. Now, if you're not used to, or if you don't have habits of clean, it doesn't matter how clean the car is, how brand new the car is. Give it about a month, and then guess what? You're going to be back with your old habits, because it's about your what's happening in your soul. Why is it that you feel comfortable with your things being out of order? Why do you feel comfortable with your room being a mess? You know, and so with your car being a mess, your whatever, your desk at school, your locker. How about that? Let's bring it down to your lockers at school. Why is your locker a mess? You open up the locker and everything falls out. You got paper balled up, paper folded up, everything. Just, candy wrappers, potato chip bag wrappers, bottles, whatever, falling out your locker. Now, listen, that didn't start when you went to middle school. That didn't start when you went to high school. That started when you were young, because you didn't develop those habits of being responsible. All right. Now, how can we begin to teach responsibility? What can you do? First of all, you can teach your kids, as we just talked about, to tidy up their rooms. Now, we're young kids, it's not going to be perfect, but there are some kids who really can clean. But just talk, we're just going to talk general right there. And so what can you do? In terms of tidying up their room, one of the things, when with anybody, when you say clean, it's like, oh God, here we go again. Whether it's teenagers, adults having to do dishes, you know, clean out the garage, take out the trash, whatever the case may be. When clean, it's like, oh gosh, here we go again. And so when you're one of the things that I always tell people when I talk to them on the phone, so I'm on advisements or whatever, I tell them, if you have little kids who don't like to clean, I mean, many people don't like to, but you have little kids. Guess what? I told someone before. I said, all you have to do in some cases, and try. I told them, just try it out. It's everything is not cut and dry. Everything doesn't work for everybody. But one thing I said, you get a basket, get a nice colorful basket, and put a basketball goal over it. And so when the kids come in, now you made a game out of it. You go in, you want them to keep their things off the floor as much as possible. Make a game out of it. Put that big bright basket under that goal that you nail up on the wall. And when they go in, and you make a game of it, hey, go in. All right, let's go shoot some baskets. When they're getting ready to go in and get ready for bed, and take, to take off their clothes from the day and get ready to get in the, the bathtub, or either get ready to go to bed, whatever the case may be. As they're taking off their clothes, all right, shoot a basket. Come on. I bet you can't hit that basket. Come on. Let me see what you got. Let me see what you got. You have to make it fun for them. And when you begin to make things fun for them, I mean, you have to be age appropriate. Now, we're talking about children here. But again, if those habits and responsibility, you give them those responsibilities, they'll do it, and it'll excuse me, become a part of who they are. And so that's one of the things that you can do. You can, as they're tidying up their rooms, and the kids have all the toys, you know toys everywhere. You walk in the room and you step all over the toys, and you screaming because you stepped on the hardest. It seemed like you found the hardest toy on the ground. You didn't get the Nerf ball. You got the little men, the army men, or whatever, those little tiny things with those little sharp edges sometimes. And so even in that, picking up their toys, what you tell them. It takes repetition. You can't just tell them one day, hey, clean up your room, make sure your room is clean. No, make sure they have the things that they need to see to it that they can keep their room clean. Have the toy box again. That can be fun. All right, you can just throw it in. Hey, let's shoot baskets. Shoot those toys right in that basket. And the more you tell them, and the more that it's repetition. Do it over and over and over again, and pretty soon they'll start doing it themselves. And so you begin with small things, teaching them how to tidy up their room. And then, of course, little kids, some can make their bed and some are just going to kind of pull the covers up. But every little bit counts. Every little bit helps, because it is still, whether it's 100% perfect or not, it is helping them learn the responsibility of doing it. It's the same thing every day. I may not make up my bed perfect today, but I did make it up. So that habit is being built in. Being responsible for doing that is being built in them. And so nothing too great or too small. But in terms of that, teaching them how to be responsible for their things and to take care of them. And so moving on. Number two, we can give them something to look after. If you want to teach responsibility to a kid, give them something to look after. Maybe say a plant. They make them so fun now. You have the little chia pet plants that you just pour the water on them, and then the hair grows out the afro or whatever. Or you have a rabbit, and then the fur grows on it. Like the plant is that part of the body, and so their fur, and so they something fun to watch. Watch them go put water in it. Okay, every week on Wednesday, you need to go and water your chia pet, or whatever the case may be. I just say that because that's something fun. And it can take they have so many different shapes and different things and molds now that they do in terms of the chia pets. And then you can just put it in. Okay, especially before you go get a real pet. Okay, because that's a whole nother level of responsibility. But you can do something like that. Taking care of that, taking care of a little plant or whatever, just for giggles and grins. And so starting there, and also, again, we're talking about age appropriate chores for kids. You have 5-year old, 6-year old. You can take out the trash. Of course, I don't advise anybody sending their kids out to empty the trash outside or anything without, young kids without the parents with them. But you can begin to teach them, and you don't have to do it separately. If you're doing it, take them along with you. Okay, if you're taking out the kitchen trash, mom or dad or whoever's brother, sister, older brother or sister, take them too. Say, okay, I'm going to take the trash out. Once you come on, let me grab the bathroom trash. That's a little bit smaller than usually than the kitchen trash and all of that. And you can go with me. So you're teaching them through doing. You get the trash. Okay, I'm gonna get the big trash. You get the little trash. Let's do this together. So it's still teaching them responsibility. So if you're the person that takes the trash out on every on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, all right, come on, grab one of the little ones. Let's go do this. You want it, or you can take. Hey, you want to help me carry it out? Make them feel like they're helping you carry the trash, although you're lifting the weight, but help. Come on, help me. And so these are all things you can do to begin to instill responsibility in them. And so guess what? They'll be like, if you go, Monday comes, they're not around, you go out and take the trash out, and they've been doing it for weeks on end. They're going to be like, "Hey, what happened? You didn't tell me you were going to take the trash out." And sometimes they'll pout, but see, now you know that you're building, you're instilling that responsibility in them. These are small things, but it's the small things that uh, grow up to be the bigger things. Just like I said a bit ago, if you don't start these habits now, you just turn into an adult who doesn't take out the trash. You turn into the adult who doesn't do dishes. You turn into the adult who won't clean your room. You turn into the adult who won't brush your teeth, won't take a shower, won't do your hygiene. So it doesn't, just because you grow up doesn't mean that these things grow up with you and in you. And so you have to continue to work on those things. And so these are ways that you can do that, so that you can begin building responsible children. Okay, we look out on in the world today, and I know we talk about it all the time. A friend of mine and I, we were talking, and how you can go to like restaurants now, fast food restaurants, and they're not in uniform. If they are, the uniforms are wrinkled. The standard has changed. And the one thing about that, even though a standard may change in your workplace or whatever, if that's not you, you're still going to make sure that your suit, your shirt, your pants, and everything are pressed, because that's who you are. And the one thing that people have done is they've fallen into the norm. What people say, okay, well, we're going to relax our standards. Just because people relax their standards doesn't mean you have to. I remember I worked at this place for many years, and this person, one of the employees, used to always come into the office on Fridays, because Friday was Jean Day. Now they would always come in. Let me come in, Miss Norman. I'm gonna come in and see if you got your jeans on today. And I'm like, no, I don't have jeans, and I don't have on t-shirt, because it was jeans and t-shirt day. No, I do not. And they would do that just about every Friday. Come and see, and it never changed, because I don't wear jeans, and I wasn't wearing t-shirts to work. There's a place for everything, okay? And so when you're teaching those responsibilities, so on and so forth, because it helps them. And as you grow, then you grow right into them. And so that's why you find people who parents always made them make their bed, and they develop that habit. And guess what? As adults, as teens, they always make their bed. But it comes with the doing. It's not like it's gonna fall on you or whatever. And so you have to work it. It's work. No, do you want to do it? Probably not. You probably don't want to do dishes. No, you probably don't want to clean your room every day, whatever. But the more you do it, the more you want to see everything in order. All right, create a chore chart. Okay, you have little kids or whatever. You put a chart up. All right, Jimmy, you're going to take out the bathroom trash. Rebecca, you're going to make sure that the kitchen trash is taken out. Have it on the board. And guess what? When you put things on a chart, and so everybody's name is listed, and this is your responsibility, and if you fulfill your responsibility, then you're going to get this. You're going to get your sticker by your name. You did it, and at the end of the week, you get to choose what you want to eat for that day. Whatever the case may be, you make it as fun or as you want it, or for it's customizing for your family. So so and so did all of their chores for the week, so you can choose a dessert that you want for this week, your own special dessert. Or you can choose something from out to eat from a restaurant, whatever. Just make things fun, make it fun. It doesn't have to be boring, it doesn't have to be hard and arduous. All of these things can be fun, and you just have to find those fun ways to teach them. And so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this portion of talking about being making and building responsible children right here. And next week we'll be talking about something else, but I hope you are able to get something out and get some tools and things that you can use to help build responsibility, instill responsibility in your children, so that when they grow up to be teenagers, grow up to be adults, that these things will follow them. These are, as I was growing up as a child, these are things we did, standing up in the chair, helping my mom do dishes. She's washing dishes and I'm standing on the other side with the water running, trying rinsing the dishes, as a kid. And so you learn, a lot of times you learn by doing. You don't always have to take, okay, we're going to set aside this moment and teach this. No, you can teach by the doing. And it was fun growing up. You standing in the chair, you're rinsing the dishes off. It was fun to me. I remember my brother and we would get up on Saturday mornings and we would uh, take orders, because I came from a big family. It was 8 of us, and we would take orders from my sisters and brothers for what they wanted for breakfast, and he and I would cook it. And what is he still doing today? He's still cooking, loves to cook. Now, I can cook, but I don't necessarily love it like he does. And so he's still cooking today. And he started doing that. And we started doing that as kids, probably about 7 and 8. Started doing that. He would have been 9. If I'm 7, he would have been 9. And so started early doing that. And so I admonish you to begin to start building these habits and teaching them responsibility when they're young. Because when you teach them when they're young, I mean, they're most impressionable when they're young, excuse me, and then you just continue to build on it. You just, as they increase in age, you change the responsibility, you give them more responsibility. Okay. Pets, we I alluded to that a bit ago when I was talking about the chia pet. That's, but when we're talking about a real pet, when the kids get ready to have a pet, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with having a real pet. You gotta take them out, whether it's rain, snow, sleet, or shine. You have to take them out to use the restroom. You have to feed them. You have to give them water. If you're going to be leaving, you got to find out who's going to take care of them. All of those things. So this is teaching them responsibility. But again, you teach them age appropriate responsibilities. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for Prayer Before the Bell Plus. you know um, I'm glad that you're here, that you join me, and I pray that you take these broadcasts and that you share with other people, because there's a lot of good information that's not only going to help the kids, but they're also going to help you as parents, and other family members who may be raising siblings, children, or whatever the case may be. And so thank you again for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next week on Prayer Before the Bell Plus. I air every Monday at 7:30 a.m. Monday, 7:30 a.m. 30-minute show, 30-minute broadcast. And so I pray that you benefited from what I have done today and that you will share it. And I look forward to seeing you next week on Prayer Before the Bell Plus, where we are fighting for the souls of the next generation. Thank you for so much for watching. God bless.